Hi friends, this is Susie, your Candy Crush guru, here to show you what I think is the most efficient, effective way to gather sugar drops. I'm going to level 1476, which is my favorite level, but you can use these same techniques and modify them if you aren't quite this far or you for some reason don't like this level, although you might want to learn to like it after you see this. And you can just modify it and use the same techniques to your own benefit. So what I do is I go in to 1476 on 3 separate screens to play it. And I can do it on separate tabs in one window, or I can take my cursor, my left mouse button, and drag this over and just drop it somewhere right in between. And the way I got 3, I'm on Chrome, so the way I got 3 of these is I just did this and I right-clicked on it and I said duplicate, and it makes an entirely separate tab for me with the same information. It brings it into Candy Crush. Now, if I'm going to do this and open up the same level on 3 and be able to use these all as sugar drop collection, which you can see I can because I've got this little apothecary jar to collect things, I need to not just have this going, I need to have it fully open at 100% and on the map screen like this before I go ahead and start collecting, or actually at least before I finish collecting, before I collect any of my sugar drops. So let's talk a little bit about sugar drop level while I'm working on all of these. Notice they're self-working, that's why I love this level. So a sugar drop level is any level that has this little raised area. It has this little dot that is raised. See how this is short and this is raised? This is a sugar drop level. The other indicator is it's got this superhero utility belt with a big C on it. And then when we go in, we can see that we are collecting sugar drops because we have this little jar here. Now the way to collect sugar drops is we make a move on the board. I try to make them very low. Well, that didn't work. Let's try again. I make it low, and when I make a move and then subsequent moves are made, and it has to be a sufficient number of them. I'm not getting any here. Here we go. See how we made several moves? Then we get one of these superhero candies on our screen. And then when we collect it, it goes into our sugar drop jar. So that's the process of collecting a sugar drop. Now you can know whether or not you're eligible to collect sugar drops by a little indicator when you pull up one of these from the map screen and you see your friends with your high score, and then down here it says 17 out of 24 because 24 is the first amount of sugar drops you need to collect to get a prize. So if it says something like 17 out of 24, or if you've already collected some, it says, 50 out of 64, or whatever it is. If it's a ratio number like that, then it is telling you that you are eligible to collect sugar drops on any of the open sugar drop levels that you haven't collected from yet. Now the reason I'm allowed to do it from the same level 3 times is because I'm opening the screens all at once and I'm fooling the system, letting them think I'm only collecting it once. But since I'm doing it, since I opened them all up before I collected any, it's allowing me to collect them all from one level. I've heard of 2 people who actually have a glitch, and it allows them to play the level, then refresh and go back and play level 1476 again for sugar drops. Don't listen to them if they tell you you can do that to your screen too. Chances are very likely that you will not be able to. Theirs is just a glitch that helps them. So do it this way and you'll be golden. Try it the other way and see if you've got that glitch, but don't be terribly surprised or disappointed if it doesn't work for you the same way. Okay, so now I said this is rather self-working and all I have to do is make moves low to the ground. Well, one way to make moves low to the ground is just to use these color bombs when they appear and take out any color, because generally there's going to be a color that's low to the ground and it's going to take everything out and allow this cascading. And like I said, every time you take a turn and you make a move that makes more moves, you will get at the end of the turn a sugar drop. But the other way to get it is to allow that turn then to set off a UFO, because the UFO, once it gets set off, if it makes a sufficient number, it also then will result in a sugar drop. I'm trying to show you while I'm also trying to work these because I have a limited amount of time, and I want to show you the reason I'm choosing this level on 3 screens is I can collect all of my sugar drops in 15 minutes or less. Now I will say that I'm on a desktop. If you're on a laptop and your processor speed is a little bit slow, it may take you a little bit longer. Or if you're just getting familiar with it, or if you're not comfortable with having 3 screens open, what you can do is just have one screen going at a time. Just keep them all on one window on 3 different tabs, and then play them not concurrently like I'm doing, but consecutively. Finish one and then go to the next. Now the other thing I like to do occasionally is kind of monitor my progress. I don't spend too much time or attention, but I like to see, okay, I still have 41 wrapped candies to collect. I have 32 moves. That's a sufficient number of moves to do that in. It's not going to be difficult for me to do that. And I've got 19 sugar drops collected on this board. Similar numbers here and similar numbers here, so I'm looking good. Now let's talk about the actual number of sugar drops I need to collect to make this successful. Every 8 hours, I'm allowed to collect approximately 180 sugar drops. And every time I do that, I collect approximately 12 boosters. Now let me tell you that I have vetted this. I've tried this out on so many different times, so many different ways. And whether I do this all on one level like I'm doing now, or I go to individual levels and collect sugar drops, and I tell you it takes me at least an hour to do it that way when I can do it this way in 15 minutes. But no matter how I collect my 180 sugar drops, I still get my 12 boosters. Occasionally, because I might collect a little more one time and a little less the next time, I might get, like the last time I collected, I actually pulled 13 boosters. So this time I might only get 11, or it might have been compensating me for only getting 11 boosters the last time, and it may give me a full 12 this time. Excuse me. But it averages out to 12 boosters. I actually think I've been getting 13 boosters a few times now. So I don't know what that's about, but I'm not going to complain since it's erring in my favor. Oh, 13 again. Yay, I love that. I've also noticed that the types of boosters you get are completely random. Doesn't matter how you do it. It's just a random draw of boosters. Sometimes you get a lot of switch hands, which I absolutely love. Sometimes you get a lot of gold bars. There's nothing you're doing that determines it. It's a completely random process. It's totally arbitrary. Okay, so still looking through 29 here. That means I'm almost done. 24 here. I need to work a little harder on this. 23 here. Okay, so the reason I'm checking those numbers every so often is because I don't want to make moves too quickly here. I don't want to take a color bomb and match it with a striped candy, or especially not with a wrapped candy, because I don't want this process to be over too quickly. If I can create a sugar drop every time I have a catalyst, a turn, or a UFO, I don't want to finish in 5 turns, because then I've only collected a fraction of, oops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to pull it to the right, but that's okay because I'm almost done here. I don't want to collect those sugar drops or these wrapped candies too quickly, because then it won't allow me to collect the sugar drops. So I want to play this a little bit slowly, and combining a color bomb with a wrapped candy will have me complete the mission too quickly. But once I have an average of 30 drops per screen, then it doesn't matter. See, now I have an average of 30 drops per screen. Now I can finish this off as quickly as I want, and it doesn't matter. And here's the reason. if I have to collect 180 sugar drops, and if I know that not on mobile devices, but on all other devices, on all laptops and desktop computers, if I finish the level, if I actually win it, then I don't get just 30 sugar drops. I get that doubled. So here, if I were to win this right now, instead of getting 33, I would get 66 sugar drops from this. And that's what I need on this board. I need an average of 30 per screen and to beat the game. That will give me an average of 60 per board, and 60 times 3 is 180. That's why 3 boards is particularly important for this level for me, because I know I always average at least 30 on this board, and I always beat it. If you always average 20 on this board, you're going to need to bring in more screens. And that's okay if you can't fill your window with screens. Again, just play them consecutively, have them up and ready to go, and then when you're finished with the boards that you can see, then you can go ahead and open up new boards and continue collecting. It'll still be much quicker than going to levels that you're not as comfortable with and that you don't beat often. Oh, this one's now self-working. It'll finish on its own. And you're only collecting 2 sugar drops, and then you have to go to the next level and you collect 2 more sugar drops. You can see this one. Oh, I didn't beat this one. So that means, that means I have to work more diligently now on the others while the cat is rifling through things. And I'm not actually even too worried about that, because I will tell you that I probably have enough left over, and here's the reason. I said I'm allowed to collect approximately 180 sugar drops. I'm actually allowed to collect more than that. It's overflow. I can collect 203 sugar drops, and 23 of them get transferred over to my next attempt, because it'll allow me to collect enough up until my next draw amount. And my next draw amount, you saw that there was like 23 out of 24. So I had collected 23 out of my 24. So I still should be okay. And we'll be able to tell if I collect the correct amount of boosters. And remember, it's okay if I don't, because I've got this one in reserve. So that's probably a good thing. And I should say, I used to be able to collect them without any problem, beat it without any problem. People will tell you it's very unlikely that you don't beat this level, but they did change it a little bit and I'm not used to it. So let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here, 7, 8, 9 here. So I need at least 3 here to see if I've collected everything. And I've got my 3 here. So I've collected all of my sugar drops. Now watch what happens when I collect my sugar drops. See, it says 41 out of whatever, and now I go to my cool down phase, and this is how I can tell I'm not eligible to collect my sugar drops yet. I've got 8 hours before I can. It says you'll get new sugar track when the cool down is over. This is my cool down period, and when 8 hours has expired, it will reset for me. I'll get that ratio again that was shown before. I'll try to show you over here because this hasn't registered yet. See, that's that ratio that tells me that I'm eligible to collect. And this is a little bit misleading because remember, I fooled the system. If I refresh this, it will go back to the timer that this is showing. And I was able to do this all in under 15 minutes, even while talking. Now, true, I didn't navigate down on all 3 screens. It takes a little bit of time to do that, and people complain, 1476, it's so far down from where I am, or, you know, it's not, or 281 or 666. Whichever level you're using takes a little bit of time to navigate to. Still so much quicker than playing through a level and getting 2 sugar drops. So I hope this helps you. If you have questions, put those in the comment section. I will do my best to get back to you. If you want to see any more videos, you can subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.